Hi, I'm Kyle D'Souza, and you're listening to the WA School of Mines Alumni podcast. Many kids have rock collections, but some people never grow out of it. That play is vital to the mining industry. Kathryn Cutler is Exploration Manager at Saturn Metals. Kathryn, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kyle.
Kath, what is your earliest memory of loving rocks and geology?
Well, I think my best friend growing up, Anne-Marie, her father was a lecturer at UWA, a geology lecturer, and he had a really extensive rock collection, and I really enjoyed looking at all the minerals that he had.
Mm-hmm.
His rock collection was all in little specimen jars.
Yeah.
And they're all clearly labelled with what they were, what minerals, and where they were from. So for WA or New South Wales or...
Just from that you were intrigued? And
Yeah, well, it's just so interesting. And then, I hear of all these, everyone going out to the mining and, going out to site and digging stuff up and selling it. Oh, okay, yeah. And that's what we use to make stuff, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to be part of that. That sounded pretty cool, especially the finding stuff. That was what I enjoyed the most.
Fantastic. And your job now as an exploration manager, what do you love about that?
All of it. From managing the team, I've got a really great junior team, and all the way through to the package, dealing with the geophysics, exploring, finding stuff.
Yeah.
It's the best job ever.
So what do you love about being out in the bush?
Ooh. All of it. I like having my space. I like being out in the fresh open air. Like looking at the rocks, which is the geekiest thing to say ever. Looking at where the potential might be, coming up with theories, and then we get to test them. And either I'm right or I'm wrong. But
what does that feel like when you're going for that walk through the bush and you see that little bit of soil there, when you see something that has prospect?
Oh, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and what's going through your head?
It's like, I want to take a rock chip at this and see if it's got any gold in it.
Where do you hope this interest will take you in life?
Well, hopefully to find a major discovery, an economic mineral deposit in WA, and contribute positively to the mining industry. That's what I hope for.
There's a lot of evidence showing that girls drop subjects like science and maths at school. Was there someone that encouraged you to take this on?
Yeah, that would be my father. He has a strong science background, and he really showed me the importance of science and girls going into science. It's I think dominantly in the past has been males, but women are just as capable.
Like, was he in mining as well?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
How did he encourage you to do what you did?
Oh, just supported me, and with universities said that I should do geology to start with, and I, being a young 18-year-old girl, didn't listen to my father and went off and did another degree, and then eventually realised he was correct and I should do geology.
What was the degree you did before?
I did health science and dietetics.
How did you actually find out about the WA School of Mines?
Well, I was already on campus studying, so I walked around to the geology department, to the building, and I remember going in, speaking to the secretary, and she just said, well, what sort of geology do you want to do? And I said, I want to go into mining. And she was like, well, you need to go upstairs to the School of Mines. And I went, okay.
Were you intimidated back then by the mining industry?
No, not at all.
Were there many girls studying when you were there?
No, the numbers weren't that bad, actually. They were reasonable. It was probably only 10%, but a lot of them stayed in the mainstream geology. They didn't move into the mining, and because my degree was mineral exploration and mining geology.
The numbers for girls studying science, technology, engineering and maths, and then going into the mining industry has been seen as a challenge. What do you think would help?
I think getting girls into science really early. Also, and getting them into that they can contribute in that area. And, I mean, the boys are great. Like, I haven't had any issues with any engineers or anything like that. They're all very inclusive, and I think they really respect the balance in the workspace. They don't want all to be men either. They prefer that there's a balance between male and females on site specifically. I think getting young girls out into the bush and up on mine sites early would be a good move. just for them to see what it's like, to live out there, living and working with everyone at the same time is, it's pretty cool. It's, not for everyone, but it is actually quite cool. I think when they finish school at 17, I don't know how you're meant to know what you're doing, So the idea of being out in the bush and out on a mine site is a little bit too foreign.
Yep. And how important is mentoring of those young females in actually getting them into the mining industry?
Yeah, it is very important. I have, over the past 10 years, kept a close eye on any young girls that have come through and tried to support them as much as I can. But then again, I don't need to be female to do that. They get a lot of support from males as well, or their bosses that really want them to stay as well. And
how well do you think WASM prepared you for your career and life in general?
I really enjoyed my degree. The lecturers I thought were amazing at Curtin and at WASM in Kalgoorlie. I think the living in Cal and with the students and other disciplines like the metallurgists and the engineers, we all form really tight bonds, and we all, because we're all going into the same industry, we all sort of stick together and we have those contacts.
How has the field of geology changed in the last 10 years, and is it what you imagined it to be?
Yeah, it has changed quite a bit. The industry itself as a whole, the safety focus is really strong and definitely in a positive way. With geology, it's changed quite a bit as well. We've had booms of the iron ore. Now we're shifting into the lithium space, cobalt space. Like, it's moving around quite a bit. I'm in gold now, and that's a little bit different. It's not, it's not a large bulk commodity that everyone can find more easily and can move quite quickly like the lithium space. But the technology is becoming better, mainly for blind deposits, using a lot more geophysics and geochemistry to identify deposits that are economic.
Why does the resource sector need geologists?
Well, we cover the whole industry. So we cover from exploration, resource into mining. So we're really important. Everyone I think is very important. It's not just geos, but we're there at the beginning. Without exploration geos, you're not going to get to that resource stage. You're not going to get to the mining level. So,
do you find that your degree is transferable into oil and gas as well?
Well, it's all the same principles. So with oil and gas, they're basically just using more of the geophysical techniques and interpretations from geophysical data to find what. But it's the same process. It's using remote sensing techniques then to come up with a theory, which you then test via drilling to find something. So it's the same stuff.
You did an undergraduate degree, then honours, and then an MBA. Why?
My ideal is to go into the corporate world, and if I do that, I don't have a particularly strong financial background, so I did the MBA mainly for that.
And do you think you got out of that MBA what you wanted?
Yeah, I think so. A general understanding of the basics of finances.
Stepping into that leadership role as an exploration manager, what have been the key things that you've learnt in that transition?
I think managing people is hard, but it is really good. You get a lot out of it. I do really enjoy it, actually. Probably for myself, just being considerate of each other's time.
Allocated time for work outcomes.
Yeah, so making sure that everyone's hitting their targets, but also being cognizant of the fact that everyone has a life as well.
Yep.
In exploration, when you're not on a roster, like you are in mining, if you're flying out to a site, sometimes you can get really caught up in everything day to day, and it can become too much.
Yep.
So you do need to step back occasionally. So making sure that the guys do have some time off and...
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, reboot, ready to go out into the field again.
Kathryn Cutler, Exploration Manager at Saturn Metals. Thank you so much for making time to join us today.
It's my pleasure.
And if you want to hear more engaging, interesting and inspiring podcasts, type WA School of Mines Alumni Podcast into your search engine and take your pick. I'm Cole D'Souza, and thanks for listening.